quite bad. I smoke up to 50 a day. The herrings hate me. The bit I can tell you about my new tour is the bit that I've written. I haven't written all of it yet. And it's called Temple of Daft. And it's a great big story about looking for lost treasure. Now, will that lost treasure actually be what's in people's hearts and not money? No, that would be rather dull. So it's lots of jokes. It won't change your political opinion or your life story, but if you like stupid daft jokes, Temple of Daft is the show for you. I almost drowned on my first day at work as a seahorse whisperer. The places I like to play in London, well, probably, I think you'll find most comics will say the Comedy Store in London is probably the best venue in the world, actually, because it's 400 people jammed into a small room with a low ceiling. And that means that, and there are no tables either, it's just chairs facing a tiny stage, so that when you get a big laugh there, it rolls, and you can get into a rhythm, and there's nothing quite like it. I mean, even foreign comics say that. After the Comedy Store, I'd say probably Hammersmith Apollo is great. I was at school about 400 yards from there. So every time I go to the Hammersmith Apollo, it feels like not going home, but yes, I'm back. I told you this would happen. As a child, I was brought up by salmon. Even today, sometimes I swim to the top of a waterfall and forget what I went up for. I quite like hecklers. And because when people come to my own show, you know, if they've paid for a ticket, they're not the sort of hecklers who are there to destroy the evening. And in fact, because I get children and old people as well, it's more likely that a child will shout out because they don't know the sort of the convention of theatre. You know, they just put their hand up and say, "Why don't you finish the joke about the thing?" You know, which I quite like. I quite like the interaction. So there I was, shells exploding all around me. No one expected the attack of the suicide cockles. I still do a late show at the Comedy Store or something occasionally, and that's a different kettle of fish. You know, people are drunk with stag nights. I've been on stage, walked on stage, and before I've said anything, someone's been sick all over the stage. The Comedy Store bouncers are all very good, in that the guy hadn't finished throwing up before he was out on his ear. But I just had to deal with someone mopping round me for the first 5 minutes of my act. I always remember, just before he died, my grandfather said to me, "You selfish boy." So not long after that, I became a fishmonger.